Hi, welcome to the Holding Hands and Throwing Fists podcast. I got the mic.
I have the opinions.
Welcome to season 9, episode 4. Here we are, babe.
Weren't we just sitting here?
Yeah, well, I mean, who's keeping track anyway, right?
Oh, nobody else but us.
This is the first time that it feels good to record on a Monday in a while after a couple Saturdays. I like it. It's either Monday or Saturday.
That's really terrible and inconsistent, and all we offered was we consistent.
I mean, it's every week, ain't it? Damn.
Ish.
What did I want to say? I wanted to say go to holdinghandsanddthrowingfists.com because I'm not really paying for that name anymore. It's going to be holdinghandsandthrowingfists.something later. So go check it out. But we're going to get new stuff in when the website doesn't really work. So there we go.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, dude.
You're really on top of this shit.
And then in the meantime, go to the Happy Pill Project. We got sweatshirts. So follow the Happy Pill Project at Instagram and follow the link. And you get yourself a nice little champion crew neck sweatshirt with a pretty little Happy Pill Project logo on it.
Amazing. The sweatshirts are black?
Yes, they are.
Very nice. Classico.
All right, we're going to start off this episode with a quick piece of information that's most important of all, that Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's little brother, beat Jake Paul in a boxing match that took place in Saudi Arabia on Sunday. And I, in an effort to be more budget conscious, chose not to spend money on buying it.
Oh, that's something.
Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks for keeping me on the budget.
George tried to convince me 3 times. He asked in the way I normally ask for things. He's like,
"You sure we can't go on vacation for the second time in a month?"
He was like, "I don't need to buy this fight, right? I shouldn't buy this fight, right?
I could just enjoy a nice peaceful Sunday without spending $50 on this fight, right? Now we're going to spend $100 on this bullshit fight this weekend.
I know, which is the reason that we did not need to spend money on Tommy Fury against Jake Paul.
But babe, there was plenty of pre-fights.
Exactly. That's probably another reason, because we just had Bellator Dublin on Saturday from 11:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. And then we turned over to UFC, so we had plenty going on. So just to keep you abreast of everything that happened over the pond, as they say.
Oh, yeah. Across the pond, whatever.
John Kavanagh, Coach Kavanagh, who is most famous for his terrible book that we both read.
Yeah.
No. He's most famous, and his book wasn't that terrible. He's most famous for being Conor McGregor's head coach. John Kavanagh was busy as hell. He was seriously in the corner of at least 15 of the 18 fights on the card. And he had to walk out with each fighter, go back into the locker room, change his shirt every time, and come back. It just felt so silly. But
he definitely had to do like a run through of all his shirts to make sure he had them in order, right?
Oh no, Orla was definitely in the back, like handing them to him. Anyway, in the first fight of the main card, the Irish kid beat the fuck out of the Greek guy. Holla. Sinead Kavanagh won, but not MMA Fashion. Has stupid fucking looking hair with a quarter of her head shaved. At least her sports bra was cool. Most Irish fighters won, some lost. That's okay. What we really need to talk about, though, is Peter Queally versus Bryce Logan. Good guys alert. You know this. Queally has the epic walkout to the Cranberry Zombie. And when he was asked about it right before the fight, he said, "I take it all in. I know it's special that I get this opportunity to walk out to the crowd," which I feel like is so reflective when he's about to go do it. So definitely good guy. Then, as usual, the crowd was singing Zombie loud and proud, and even Bryce Logan, Queally's opponent, was singing it. It was incredible.
Dude, that's the first time I've ever seen the opponent sing his opponent's walkout fucking song. That was awesome. That was such a fucking feel good moment.
We were already like, oh my God, good guy alert. And then when Michael C. Williams was announcing the fighters, the crowd was singing so loud, like he definitely couldn't have heard himself. So you could tell he was smiling at it, even though he was like trying so hard to be professional and move this shit along.
And it just so happened that the timing was that he was introducing the opponent, right? So he was introducing Bryce Logan, and the crowd started cheering, but it's because the crowd couldn't hear him being introduced, so they were cheering that they had finished the chorus of Zombie. And then like the 25% roughly of people that actually could tell that what was going on, they started booing, because that's what happens in Ireland. They'll like boo the opposing fighter, but then if the opposing fighter wins or is just remotely cool, then they immediately switch and are cool.
Yeah.
It's like an obligatory introductory boo.
Boo-hoo. Anyway, definitely both good guys, and Bryce Logan won. Good for him. And in the main event, Yaroslav Amosov had an insane performance. We told you about him as a good guy last week, so we are so happy for him. He beat the shit out of Logan Storley.
God.
And you know then George was calling for a ref stoppage by round 3 when it was clear Logan just had nothing.
Just to clarify, in round 3, like it was such a bad beatdown. I was like, if he doesn't do anything by the absolute middle of round 4, they have to throw in the towel. It's ridiculous. And then I totally lost track of time, and then in the middle of round 4, exactly at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I was like, stop the fight. And then I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, look at that. I know myself.
You do know yourself. So, whatever. It was great. Yaroslav Amosov won. And in his post-fight interview, Yaroslav spoke about Ukraine, of course, and thanked the crowd for their support. But then he also said he's the best welterweight in the world. And if anyone from the UFC disagrees, they should come to Bellator and fight him. I would love a little MMA beef between a UFC fighter and a Bellator fighter. I know that will never happen, so I don't even need to hear you say it, babe, because I know it's on the tip of your tongue, and it always is. Every fucking time I dream a little bit bigger than the small bubble we live in, but I want that MMA beef.
Well, it would be him versus your boy Leon. Right? Leon's the welterweight champion.
Oh, I don't want that.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for, motherfucker.
So true.
Speaking of MMA beef, let's get to some holding hands and throwing fist staple segments.
Yes!
We're going to start off with MMA Fashion, picking up on Yaroslav Amosov, who also got a sick name, that his shorts were the holding hands and throwing fist colors. They look so good. They look great. Mm-hmm. And his corner had some fire matching tracksuits with yellow taping across. And I think it was all that, I forget the name of the, Bet Paribas or whatever. It's like the Russian DraftKings.
I didn't know that, but
yeah.
Wow, it looked great.
So whatever, definitely Yaroslav Amosov won MMA Fashion of the week. But switching over to UFC, babe, did you see this link that I have over here for you, easily accessible?
This wonderful
Michael
link.
Chiesa and Megan Levy both wore purple this past weekend. Michael had a awesome purple tie, and Megan Levy had a nice long sleeve purple top.
Interesting. I'm not like the biggest purple fan.
No, but you know, whatever.
I like the little matching. The fits are right over here.
It was just a fight night.
I'm with it.
All right, moving on. I think also we were talking about Michael C. Williams. He just wore the black on black, which he normally does anyway. So whatever. He always looking cool.
Yep.
But what's next? Good guy alert. Wee-oo. I also noticed that you do 2 wee-oos and I do 3, but that time I did 2 because before, if you rewind it a little bit, I go wee-oo. Anyway.
Oh.
Mike Malott, I forgot how Malott, right? From Canada, won his fight against another Canadian. He submitted him via arm triangle, which looked pretty good. And I need to send it to Mike to get his opinion on whether or not he thought the arm triangle was good. I think he got the 40-40 or whatever it is, 20-20-10-10 done. But this guy lost his grandmother and uncle during his fight camp, and he dedicated the whole fight to his family and asked for the UFC to come to Canada. His whole thing was like, I'm sorry that I even have to beat a Canadian, but it also is a good show to all the young and up and comers and all that stuff. So I'm completely lost the thread over here. I'm mumbling my words.
We were already kind of rooting for Mike because of the two Canadians he was fighting out of Toronto, and I just real recently have a soft place in my heart for that. But it wasn't just the Toronto thing.
He also walked out to some 41.
Fuck yeah.
Bonus points. What's up, Canada?
I love it. I have no problem with any fighter walking out to Fat Lip, especially if you're Canadian.
I got this other link over here, but I don't know. It didn't really open up for me yet. There it is. This is sick. Since we're in good guy alert, I'm going to sneak this one in. Famous MMA coach Eric Nixick, who's Francis Ngannou's head coach, among many others, posted this on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and I wrote holding hands and throwing fists, obviously, as a reply because it makes sense. People ask me all the time, what do I do to keep an order in a gym full of alphas when things escalate? Well, you guessed it. I make them hold hands until everyone smiles. And there's a picture of Sean Strickland and probably someone else that I should know who it is, but I can't tell. And they're just literally holding hands and smiling.
That's incredible.
So, I mean, it's Sean Strickland, so whatever, but...
Yeah, but thank you, Coach Eric Nixick.
Yeah,
always on the pulse of the real issues, like holding hands.
Keeping up with the holding hands and throwing fists classics, we had an MMA boo-boo last week, and it's a non-traditional boo-boo. The main event on the UFC card was supposed to be Ryan Spann against Nikita Krylov, which could have been a huge weekend for Ukrainian MMA if Nikita won, but unfortunately had to pull out of the fight literally hours before it was supposed to take place after the actual card already started because they didn't say what it was, but he needed to get like fluids and stuff, and I think that it was basically related to an awful weight cut. So dang, not your typical MMA boo-boo, but Nikita, hope you're doing better, man.
Yeah.
And then just squeezing in another one real fast. You know who kind of looks like my brother?
Who?
Cyril Gahn.
I can totally see it.
If he was French and looked totally different, but still looked the same.
Before we move along, since I was so down to disown the UFC episode 1 of this season, I would like to give them some credit after this past weekend because they gave out bonuses, to all the fighters on this card who got a finish.
Hey.
So that includes Joe Selecki, Jordan Levitt, Trevor Peake, Mike Malott, Tatiana Suarez with a great comeback fight, and Brendan Allen, who was the underdog and beat his opponent, BJJ black belt, by submission.
Dang.
Also, some major credit goes out to Ryan Spann, Nikita's opponent, who was obviously so upset his fight was canceled last minute, but he was specifically went to go see Nikita in his locker room to let him know that he knows this shit happens, and he wasn't upset at Nikita, but rather that he wasn't able to show off his training and show his coaches all that he learned during his camp. Truthfully, I think Ryan Spann is another good guy alert.
Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, see, I was going to go, but I didn't want to go. You were not going to go. We'll have to discuss this off the record.
Well, let's just look forward to this weekend, babe.
Yeah. All right. So we do have a UFC pay-per-view this weekend, and I don't know. I might have a new favorite name in MMA.
Hey.
On the early prelims. All right. How do we all feel about the name Damon Blackshear?
Yeah. That's a great MMA name.
That is a great name. Blackshear alone is like such a powerful last name. But instead of being like boring Damon, I love having the apostrophe capital M for Damon.
That's awesome.
And so we're rooting for him. And now I kind of want to know his nickname. I should have looked that up. Also on the early prelims, we have Ian Gary. He is fighting out of Ireland. Oh no, George found Damon's nickname.
Do you know what it is?
No.
The Monster.
Oh my God, stop. Oh, he is my new favorite fighter. All right.
I don't know
all the money in my bank account, I'm putting on him.
I think we might have broken the audio because we laughed so hard.
Oh, no.
Damon the monster.
The monster, you get it. Oh,
We'll see. God.
All right, yeah. Ian Gary, go you. On the regular prelims, Viviane Araujo is fighting, I think it's Amanda. Don't they say it's not?
Amanda.
Amanda Hebas. Derek Brunson is fighting Dricus Du Plessis.
DDP.
And Cody Garbrandt is finally back. I'm really excited to see him fight.
Let's go, Cody.
And he's fighting Trevin Jones, who was sort of a last minute step-in fighter. And the main card, babe.
Dude, Bo Nichols fighting Jamie Pickett? Is that really happening?
It is.
Was it supposed to happen? And I think they rescheduled it. I'm excited for that. I'm super excited for that, dude. Let's go, Bo Nickel. And whatever. I just want to see a great fight. Matoy's Gamrot is fighting Jalen Turner, who we've watched all these guys, and right now I'm just like, I just had my double espresso right now, and I can't even remember any of their fights. But
you
whatever.
Don't need to. Move along.
Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. I remember both of them, and I'm very excited for that fight. That's freaking... Yo, there's mad good fights on this card. Valentina Shevchenko is fighting Alexa Grasso. Is that going to be an awesome fight, or is she just going to, like, bulldoze her?
Oh, man. I am... Oh, God, everyone knows we fucking love Valentina so hard. I kind of want her to murder Alexa Grasso.
What do you call a sleeping bull?
A bulldozer! Where did you hear such a good joke?
Some comedians be telling me that.
Oh, that's a good one. And
then,
you know what? I don't really care about the rest of the card.
What John Jones versus Cyril Gane. Main event. Big deal. John Jones, first fight at heavyweight. First fight in 3 years. Big freaking deal. Cyril Gane fought last year against Francis Ngannou, who out-wrestled him. And now he's fighting John Jones.
Let's go, Cyril!
John Jones is going to beat the fucking dog shit out of Cyril Gane.
I'm like over that narrative, babe.
He's going to beat the fucking shit.
I am rooting so hard for Cyril Gane, and
me too, man. Let's go France. Let's go France. France.
You never know. You never know.
Bonjour.
You know what, babe?
What?
I'm sick of this fighting talk.
No fighting. No fucking fighting. No fighting. No fucking fighting!
All right. In no fighting, we're going to talk baseball.
Baseball?
Beisbol. I'm going to start paying attention to baseball this year. In an effort to finally catch up to the late 1900s, early 2000s, the MLB is finally making changes to its rules, which include the new pitch clock. This is crazy, and I'm 100% down with it. Hopefully, there's proof that the game actually speeds up, which I just got actually, so my notes need to be updated. But this is crazy because the first game in MLB history just got decided by the pitch clock. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, and the batter wasn't in the box ready to go with 8 seconds left in the pitch clock, and that's it. Strike 3, game over. Pitcher didn't even need to throw a pitch, and that's what happened. That's what happens. I think I put a link over here.
My jaw's on the floor.
The pitch clock, I believe, is 15 seconds. The pitcher has 15 seconds to throw his pitch, and the batter has to be ready in the box with 8 seconds left.
That's incredible. And how much time do they think is going to be cut from the average game time with this new rule?
We have some stats already. I made some updated notes to everything. So the average game time, this is all obviously spring training, right? In 2022, spring training was 3 hours and 1 minute. So far, through 3 days, the average game time has been 2 hours and 38 minutes. That's full 23 minutes.
That's pretty significant. Wowee.
And then, you know what? I'm going to start some media beef because maybe we need to start some media beef to pop off a little bit.
You always tell me I have too many opinions.
Mike Greenberg, I think that's the one or whatever, formerly from Mike and Mike, but who knows because they broke up years ago. They couldn't even stick together, just like holding hands and throwing fists. He was on TV. I don't like him anyway. And then this other guy was on TV, and they were both talking about like all these people who say that it's less baseball. It's like, it's not less baseball. It's just 23 minutes less of them fixing their gloves and their bats and stuff. And I'm like, meanwhile, motherfucker, I'm sure you've been talking shit for the past 1800 years about how they should never do this and this is awful and this is stupid. So you've been making all that money, paying off your mortgage, talking about how they can't do it, and now they finally put it in. You're like, this is so great. Don't be a hater.
I would like to do some research and find him against any rule changes.
Well, guess what? You're going to be able to find it pretty easily, and we could talk about it in no fighting. And then see how quickly no fighting turns into fighting.
I know. Gosh dang it. Human nature.
It started off with books.
And here we are. No. I have something to add to our no fighting baseball story. I too would like to go to more games. I don't necessarily want to watch more games at home, but I definitely need to go to more baseball games this year. Mets, Yankees, no thank you. But the Brooklyn Cyclones, friends.
Dude.
It was the end of last season. I found this crucial piece of information, and it was too late to do anything with this piece of information. But I'm putting it out there for all of you. The Brooklyn Cyclones every Sunday have a ticket offer called Sunday Brunch.
Let's go.
So every Sunday game that starts either at 1 or 2 p.m., you can buy the Sunday Brunch ticket offer and you get a free brunch throughout the entire game. You could go back and get more food and bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. The fuck?
What about beers?
You can get bottomless beers for a VIP brunch ticket.
All right.
So you can get it. You just have to maybe pay a little bit more.
I'm trying to get carried out of the Brooklyn Cyclone Stadium, all right?
By who? What's their mascot again?
The Seagull.
Yeah.
Sandy the Seagull? Yeah.
All right. So that is my crucial piece of baseball information for all of you friends.
We thought we were going to be under 10 minutes today, and we actually went over time. But you know what? Felt good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Just here's your reminder. Continue to hold hands and throw fists if necessary.